This morning, we're taking a look at Oklahoma City to see how national issues are playing out on the local level. In our continuing series, American Voices, Republican Mick Cornett is the longest-serving big city mayor in the country. During his 4 terms in office, Oklahoma City has created 100,000 new jobs and 9,400 new businesses. It's also invested nearly $2 billion in schools and infrastructure.
Well, to help improve public health, Mayor Cornett put his city on a diet. His weight loss program helped citizens lose a collective 1 million pounds between 2007 and 2012. Mayor Cornett is now running for governor of Oklahoma. Good morning to you, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, Gayle.
You're getting all the residents in shape, but you said, though, that it started with you.
Well, yeah, we had been placed on a list of the most obese cities in the country. And then I got on the scales and lo and behold realized I was part of the problem.
But you didn't know you were obese? Did you not have a mirror?
It slipped up on me. You know, you gain 2 or 3 pounds a year.
No, I really do understand that, because sometimes you don't see yourself and you have to have a picture to put it all in perspective. So when you saw your own numbers, you said, oh my gosh, I'm part of the problem.
I've got to lose some weight.
And I see you're wearing a Fitbit. I mean, is that how you did it? And is that inspiration for millions of other people?
Well, I do 10,000 steps a day. It's just a little bit more of accountability. But really, when I'm in Oklahoma City, almost everybody comes up to me in a restaurant to see what I'm eating, but to see if it's on my diet.
Do they?
I have a lot of accountability partners.
Did people say, though, Mr. Mayor, get out of my life? Why are you bugging me about how heavy I am?
No, I think people were just glad someone stood up and talked about health. You know, it's a little bit invasive, and so I think the kind of the unannounced strategy of our obesity problem was just to ignore it and hope it would go away. And I kind of forced a conversation about it. I said, I don't know how we're going to fix this, but we got to talk about it.
But you said the city was so good for cars. I mean, you really changed the whole look of the city. Talk about what you did.
Well, we had built the city where automobile traffic flowed freely, and still does. We have relatively no traffic congestion. But there was a toll on our bodies that infrastructure designed around cars was paying. It was hard to cross the streets. There weren't sidewalks in very many places. We didn't have enough jogging and biking trails. And so we've now implemented changes into the built environment to create a healthier city.
Yeah, some cities just don't have walkways, right? For people to walk to a grocery store.
Children can't walk to school in a lot of places because they don't have the infrastructure there, but we're trying to fix that.
Well, speaking of infrastructure, you're focused not only on the infrastructure in your city and in your state, but in the nation as a whole, and you've talked to the president about this. What did you say to him?
Well, I talked to him about ways that local governments can partner with the federal government, and that's what the president's looking for. He doesn't want the federal government to be the sole provider of infrastructure projects anymore, and so he's looking for local governments to come up with cities and counties and states and maybe even Indian tribes to kind of combine resources and look how we can invest in some higher levels of technology as it applies to infrastructure.
When I talk to mayors, though, the thing they need is the money. Where's the money going to come from?
Well, we've been creative in how we fund projects. But we started something about 25 years ago called MAPS, Metropolitan Area Projects. Spent a penny on the dollar sales tax for a certain number of years. And through time, we've developed some confidence. We've done what we said we're going to do. And it's allowed us to build a lot of infrastructure projects debt-free and on time.
So if this doesn't need a federal response in terms of federal money, because a lot of mayors are saying we're squeezing every penny we can get. They're even worried about driverless cars because there won't be parking fees they can grab. So federal money is not the cure-all here for infrastructure?
None of our projects required federal funding. Sometimes we would get a few additional dollars thrown in because they like to pile on where local governments are investing. But we were clear to always do it with local money and meet the voters' expectation.
You learn something new every day, and this happens to be something I've learned. 12% of Oklahoma City's residents are foreign-born. What are your thoughts on the president's views on immigration and DACA in particular?
Well, immigration is a federal issue, and the federal government certainly has to secure the border. When the federal government fails to secure the border, it falls on local law enforcement all across the country. And we are spending a lot of dollars as mayors in cities all around the country trying to deal with the influx of illegal immigration. So it's a real problem.
As a mayor, you can't put off problems. When you look at Washington, you got any advice for them?
Well, yeah, they got to get things done. I mean, it's all politics all the time. People are tired of it. You know, they want a vote, they want an issue presented and addressed, and then move on to the next issue. They want governing. People are tired of all politics all day long.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No politics then in Oklahoma City?
Less. We have less politics.
No, but I'm fascinated by you, Mr. Mayor, because you went from TV anchor to Mr. Mayor, and now you're running for governor. So when you were anchoring the news all that time, how long were you a news anchor?
Nearly 20 years.
Nearly 20 years. Were you thinking politics is what I really want to do?
I think everyone in the press gallery always thinks, I could do better than that. And I just decided to find out if I could.
So now that John is here, you're going to be running for governor, right?
That's correct.
All right. Well, Mayor Cornett, thank you so much for having me. And you look great, by the way.
Congrats. Yeah. How much weight did you lose? How much weight?
I lost about 40 pounds.
All right, you look
Along
good.
with the rest of the city, Oklahoma City, staying slim.